Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 6 things that we learned from Malmö 0, Chelsea 1 in the Champions League. Chelsea get the job done. I'm not going to say we did the job well, because at the end of the day we probably should have been winning this game by more. We should have taken more chances. We had more shots today on goal than we did at Stamford Bridge. But this is 6 things we learned, the series where I review every single Chelsea game. We got green lights for the good things, we got yellow for the things that aren't quite necessarily detrimental to the downfall of the team but could be better, and we've got red boxes that are bad. And in the big games we got blue boxes for the players that made that much more of a difference than anybody else. Before we get into anything though, I do want to ask you to subscribe to the George Benson football channel if you haven't already. Turn on bell notifications so that you never miss a video, and if you could hit the like button on today's video, that would be absolutely grand. Now it's currently 3:30 in the morning where I am. I woke up for this game knowing that it was probably not going to be the most entertaining game of football that I'm ever going to wake up at 1:40 in the morning for. You know, it's one of those where, do you go to sleep? Do you not go to sleep? I got 2 hours of sleep, woke up, and now I just kind of want to go to bed, to be honest, because it wasn't the most exciting. I wanted to see Chelsea go for it a bit more. I thought we were very wasteful in front of goal. I think a lot of the decision making that we had in the final third wasn't up to the kind of standard that we would have expected or wanted. And even though Malmö did not have a single shot on target in both of the matches they played against us, it was always a bit nervy. I remember back to the game last season in the Champions League against Rennes, and that was worrying towards the end as well. This game, I kind of felt as though, even though I knew that we would get the job done because we are an absolute class above Malmö, no disrespect, but we were never going to lose this game or even concede a goal. But I couldn't take my eyes off of it, because you just never know. And I think that there were definitely questions from me today about Chelsea's motivation, perhaps. There were some players who I thought got given starts who didn't necessarily give what I would have wanted. I'm talking specifically Marcus Alonso, and I think Azpilicueta looked a bit stiff and rusty as well. But it's not all negative. Obviously, this is a series where if Chelsea win, it is predominantly a lot more positive than if we don't. And we begin in this video today with a green box for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. The commentary, I don't know if you guys are listening to the same as me. I think BT and Mola TV, which is how I watch here in Indonesia, they're both the same. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, the commentary was saying that it was difficult for him to impose himself and difficult for him to get involved in the game. Now, considering this isn't going to be a Champions League Chelsea encounter that we remember for many years to come, unless we go out there and retain the trophy, and we'll always remember that night in Malmö on the way to lifting this famous competition again, Ruben, I thought, was one of the players who actually did impose himself on this game. There were moments where 50-50s were coming in. Ruben didn't even need to engage in a tackle. He gets the ball quickly, takes it out, moves it forward, little flicks over his head to actually keep the possession and carry the ball for Chelsea. It was the role that he needed to fulfill in this game tonight. No Mateo Kovacic. He's always known these days as Chelsea's best ball progressing midfielder. It's what he's definitely developed in his game. Ruben offered that himself. I think Jorginho really didn't even have to break a sweat for the majority of this match tonight, and I think if there was anybody within that Chelsea midfield who really did excel, I think it was Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I thought there were moments, particularly in the first 60-70 minutes or so, where he did look like the best player on the field. I thought he looked like the most likely to carve opportunities for Chelsea, as well as Callum Hudson-Odoi, who I thought had a very decent game. We'll talk about him in a moment, but we move into box number 2. And again, this is an interesting one because Chelsea won the game 1-0. I'm a Chelsea fan. I celebrate victories. And I've given a green box to Hakim Ziyech. He scored the winning goal. He had a very, very good opportunity in the first half where he kind of crossed the ball in, got blocked. He gets the second, he gets the rebound, controls it very well, forces the Malmö goalkeeper into one of many saves, even though I don't think the keeper had the best game. I think he looked shaky. But Hakim Ziyech, let's talk about the goal. It's a wonderful cross from Callum Hudson-Odoi. It's an absolutely perfect cross of the ball from Chelsea's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Ziyech is there with a tap-in. I'm not going to belittle the goal because that's not my place here. You guys already give me enough stick for the amount of stick that I give to Hakim Ziyech. I'm not going to complain about the fact he scored Chelsea's winning goal on a Champions League night, on a night where we only scored one. However, I do want to say there were moments where his decision-making was very frustrating again. I think despite the goal, it isn't enough for me to suggest that when a Timo Werner or a Romelu Lukaku is back fit, that Hakim Ziyech should remain in Chelsea's front three. But that being said, there is moments where you can see that quality player inside. And I feel as though the more I talk about Hakim Ziyech, the more I'm going to frustrate some of you guys. Because at the end of the day, Chelsea won this game. However, I just still want to see more. I think some of the crosses, great corners at times today. But again, final pass decision making, I think he needs a bit more confidence. And I think the goal should be boosting his confidence. Whether it does, we will have to wait and see. Box number 3, I've given a yellow for Kai Havertz. Again, you could say harsh, but I think Chelsea would have been, or we would have been sat here tonight talking about a 3 or a 4-0 win if Kai Havertz could finish. And today, yes, I know he can finish. He scored the goal in the Champions League final, but his finishing today was poor. And we can only analyse what was in front of us on the field tonight. And I think Kai Havertz just wasn't up to it. There were moments where he was through on goal. And if you look at the replays and the close-ups, you don't even see him actually looking up to see where the keeper is. And the efforts that he actually ends up shooting with were incredibly tame. And it was nowhere near enough to beat a goalkeeper who will definitely be inflated by the stats today. Chelsea had numerous shots on goal, plenty of shots on target, even though the shooting wasn't good. Keeper makes a load of saves, but were they really saves that he ever needed to make? Kai Havertz is a player with more than enough quality to be able to finish some of the chances he had, particularly when it's one-on-ones. At the moment, I think Havertz, in terms of confidence in front of goal, it isn't quite there. There were moments where he'd drop deep and he'd offer another pass for Chelsea, or he'd get into those positions in the first place, which is a positive. But in games like this, when Chelsea shouldn't be talking about a 1-0, we're going to talk a little bit more as this video progresses on the reason why 1-0 could potentially be a problem. But I think that Kai Havertz should have done and should be doing more. But moving into box number 4, and again, Callum Hudson-Odoi plays in the front three, gets an assist, looks sharp, and is one of Chelsea's most creative players. It is no surprise to me whatsoever that we are finally seeing Callum Hudson-Odoi excel in this Chelsea team when he's played in the position that we know he's best in. Thomas Tuchel knows it too. He said that he's probably been harsh on Callum Hudson-Odoi because he has been playing him in the right wing-back position, which isn't only on the wrong side of the pitch, but it's also in a defensive area, or nowadays Chelsea's fullbacks are looking more like inverted forwards because we've developed this tactic with 3 at the back. But Callum Hudson-Odoi, when he plays on that left-hand side, he's absolutely different class. There were moments tonight where the touches that he made were brilliant. The little runs that he was trying to make were brilliant. If there was anything I could criticise, I think he needs to be shooting earlier. I think he needs to be slightly more clinical with those final take-ons in the final third. But the cross for Hakim Ziyech was absolutely sublime. It's on a plate. Even I would have scored it. You would have scored it. My nan would have scored it. And even this glass of bloody coconut water. It's not a beer or a glass of wine tonight because it's not really worth getting the beers out for this one at 3:44 in the morning, but it is a coconut water. Take a little swiggeroo and we move into box number 5, and it's a yellow for goal difference because Chelsea had an opportunity here tonight. We're playing against arguably the weakest team in the Champions League this season, and considering Juventus versus Zenit later on today, I fully expect Zenit to lose the game, Juventus to get the result, and Chelsea knew that with that game against Juventus at Stamford Bridge, it's not going to be easy. And I just wonder, foreshadowing what we have moving forward for the rest of this Champions League group, will Chelsea regret not scoring enough goals in this game tonight? If we only beat Juventus by a single goal, and then we struggle in Russia to get a decent win, or maybe we don't even win that game, if Chelsea end up coming second in this Champions League group as a result of not getting a better scoreline against Juventus in the return fixture and then not scoring enough goals, then it would be a massive, massive disappointment. And just foreshadowing for the future, we should have won this game by a lot more. Gave Havertz the yellow box, he should have scored more. We should have been more clinical with our shooting. But to finish this 6 things we learned video, I'm just glad there were no more injuries. I think Christian Pulisic came on with 15 minutes to go. I was thinking, should I give Pulisic this box by himself? But then I thought, well, he didn't really do too much to warrant the box for himself. But the fact we got through this game without any injuries is great news. At the moment, Kante, he's back in Cobham training. Kovacic injured. Mason Mount ill. You've got Werner, Lukaku out as well. Pulisic now back. I think it is a positive. When we look forward to Chelsea against Burnley in the Premier League at the weekend, if Mason Mount still isn't ready to play because he's been sick for the last 2 matches, Christian Pulisic being back, looking sharp. Credit to Ross Barkley too for finding him with 2 decent passes when he first came on. Chelsea got the job done, and there's no more things to worry about when we look forward to that game against Burnley at the weekend. It's job done. Juventus versus Zenit is later on tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Not the highest octane 6 things we learned video, but it's 3 points. It's another clean sheet for Edouard Mendy, and we're on the way to retaining our Champions League crown. See you guys in the next video tomorrow morning. Come on, you Blues.